Welcome back to the Unashamed series, and I hope you've been blessed so far by our introductory episodes. So if you've not seen them, please do well to go through our playlist and watch the episodes. Like I said, we'll be releasing them at least once every month, meaning that it can be more than that. So let's dive right into what we have for this month, and I'll be talking about discouragement, dealing with discouragement. There's a particular passage that has really stood out to me, and I'll be sharing it as a form of encouragement to us out there. And the passage is Genesis chapter 22, the testing of Abraham. We all know Abraham to be a man of faith, a father of faith. But was that how he was initially from the beginning? Of course not. So let's look through the life of Abraham and draw strength and encouragement from his walk with God. When God told Abraham in Genesis 22 to sacrifice his only son, the son whom he loved, the scripture recorded that he rose up early. So we could see the action Abraham took at this point. When I was studying this some time ago, I remember I'd even taught this in school. And I'm like, is that how obedience is simple for people like that? Like, oh, this Abraham is really a man of faith. But then, I was listening to a sermon this week, and that was what even really just lifted me up, brought light. I even had to go and do an in-depth study on this passage. And I think I'll even do a biographical study on Abraham. Yeah, I think I'll do such. And I'll put out that sermon there. It's by Jackie Perry. I encourage you all to see it, please. It is really, 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 really mind-blowing. When God called Abraham initially, in Genesis chapter 12, he told him, leave his father's house, leave your relative, go to a land that will show you. One would think that the same way Abraham rose up early in Genesis 22 was the same way he has been used to it. But nah, Abraham didn't even take any step. We could see in Genesis 11 that it was Terah, his father, that actually rose up, and he was supposed to go to Canaan but dwelt in Haran. The movement wasn't because of probably God's instruction. Most likely it would have been a political or economic situation that made them move, and that was why Abraham also moved with him. It wasn't because of God's call to him that made him take out that step. And even when God saw that he wasn't even willing to take actions to the call of God, God had to aid him. And Terah's life was taken in the land of Haran. That was when Abraham stood out and began taking steps of obedience to the call of God. Are you looking at your life and you feel like you don't understand what God is doing with your life? You're discouraged, you're losing heart. Just hold on. When God actually pronounced the word of promise to Abraham, he was 75 years old. When Abraham had the son, he was 100 years old. Medically speaking, a man's sperm viability, motility, quantity begin to reduce from age 45. So talking about someone fathering a child at 100 can't be anything biological. A woman gets to menopause within the range of 45 to 55. So basically there was no egg, there was no even sperm to cause any fertilization. There was a verse in that chapter 22 that really stood out to me. Though I had been reading this passage, but I thank God for the Holy Spirit via the sermon, even via the study afterwards, that brought life to this scripture. And the verse that I'm talking about was when Abraham told his servant to wait. He said, people should wait here. I and the lad will go and worship, and we'll come back again to you. Uncle, what was that assurance? What was that evidence that there was a ram waiting there? But because he trusted that the one who brought life out of the deadness of my body and that of my wife would also bring life. This is the promised son. I've already made the mistake on getting the son from Hagar, but this is the son that he has been trying to protect at all costs, meaning that he will still bring him back to life, even if he kills him. Mine is just to go and obey him. That was faith, dear. When God told him, take thy son, the only son whom thou lovest, God already told him before initially to leave his lineage, to leave his comfort zone, to leave where he was familiar with, to leave everything that had to do with his identity to a place I will show you, bruh. And guess what? Do you know why God did that? Abraham has been an idol worshipper from the onset. His father Terah was an idol worshipper. So Abraham has been used to holding on to what he loved the most. And one thing Jackie Hill said in her sermon was that God actually used tests to reveal, not because he doesn't know our capability or capacity, but he uses it to reveal to us and to refine any potential sin that might be left in there. That was what God was doing in Abraham's heart. Abraham has been used to idol worshipping. So it's possible that he was also going to make a form of idol out of even this promise that God had given him. And that's why the faith God is calling us to enter into. It's not faith in a plan or just a promise, but faith in the person of who God is. In Hebrews 11, we're told that even the heroes of faith, most of them did not enter into this promise before even they died. But yet they believed, they were very certain, they looked forward to a city whose founder, whose builder, whose architect was God himself. Abraham did not see Jesus Christ physically, but it was through his lineage that Jesus Christ actually came to save the world. So when God gives a word, it's a word of promise not just to you, but to your generation. So are you discouraged? Are you looking at your life that it doesn't even have direction? You don't understand what God is doing with your life. Just hold on. You know what God was trying to do with Abraham? He was trying to build a track record with him. God doesn't just want to lure you to himself with miracles or one or two things that are. He's calling you to consecration. He's calling you to be with him, to get a track record. Hold on and trust him. Hope again. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up on God. Because the plan God has for you is bigger than yourself. It's extending to your generation and beyond. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.